Dude, dogs. It's May. Spring has sprung. I'm Scott.
I'm Kelly.
I'm also Kelly.
What?
Scott and two Kellys. Two and a half Kellys is the name of this podcast. I hope you enjoy it. It's where it's our after show for Two and a Half Men, which is no longer on the air. But we watch a random episode, not even in order, of Two and a Half Men, and then Two and a Half Kellys discuss it, and what a great dude Chuck Lorre is, and how he deserves all the money he's made in life. Right?
Sure. Anyways, May 1st.
May 1st, WCW Nitro, coming from Birmingham, Alabama.
Home of Courtney Cox.
Home of Courtney Cox, apparently.
Weird.
Who was on this show.
Yeah, she was.
Because she's married to the fucking world champion. David Arquette won the WCW World Heavyweight title.
Mr. Courtney Cox.
On Thunder. And here we are.
Thunder Cats. Alright, well this show starts off as most of this show goes with parking lot brawl and then just brawling.
Oh, and the beginning of the trend of wrecking as many cars as you
Yes.
can.
WCW hates cars.
And also, this continues a trend of all of these private security just getting manhandled all
Just getting
night.
embarrassed. And like, how many matches are on this show? If you told me there was one official match on the show, I would believe you. If you told me there were 14, I would believe you. Like,
I think there was 4.
everything was a brawl that might or might not have been a match.
There was 6. Yeah, 6 matches in question with question mark at the end. Like,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah. So you get your Paige and Canyon and Arquette, and then they're gonna be fighting.
Arquette in Jimmy Hart cosplay,
Yep.
Yeah.
carrying the world title.
They're confronted by Bischoff, Russo, Jarrett.
They have a West Side Story showdown.
Until a car comes screeching in and plows into Bischoff and Russo's limo, and Hogan gets out, and then shit goes wild.
Yeah, 2 cars already smashed. Not the last.
Everyone continues to brawl, as Tony Schiavone claims no one can hold Hulk Hogan back, as security holds Hulk Hogan back.
Hulk Hogan is also referred to as Hulk Hogan and Terry Bollea at an exact 50-50 rate on this show.
Multiple just
back and forth.
shoot names.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, the show itself starts with a match.
A wrestling match.
Which is the return of Crowbar.
Yeah, who we haven't seen since well
seen-
before the Russo Bishop. era.
Yeah, it was like
So recovering from that choke slam.
February?
Yeah, maybe March,
Maybe
but
March,
no,
but
no
probably
later
February.
than March, yeah.
He is against Norman Smiley, and Norman's mystery partner for the upcoming pay-per-view, who is dressed as the mascot of a college or high school or minor league football team?
It's a Birmingham Mud Dog.
Is that what it was?
No, that's from the Waterboy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then I don't know.
I referenced that earlier. I was like, you beat the Birmingham Mud
I
Dog?
thought that's literally what he was.
Yeah.
It was a dog of some sort.
It was a dog, but it had like bolts on it.
It did. It had a like a jaw.
Real Frankenstein going on.
Had a Baron underbite
I was just saying,
from
the
Venture
guy
Brothers'
from
jaw.
Venture Brothers, yeah.
Yeah. Some sort of mecha dog.
This match, of course, was just like your typical sloppy hardcore match, but the majority of the match was spent with fucking old pig face Mark Madden constantly speculating who was in the mask, in the costume.
Yeah.
But like using like the dumbest references, like nothing that even makes sense.
What do we have?
Oprah, John Candy,
Yep.
Rosie O'Donnell.
But she's too fat to be...
Yeah.
Yeah, Rosie
like-
O'Donnell was too fat to be in the costume.
Fuck, yeah, that asshole should be talking about fat people, that piece of shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, I hate Mark.
He's a good guy. Yeah, and it's you forget that both Norman Smiley and Devon Storm are good wrestlers.
Yeah.
They did not they were not allowed to showcase any of that.
Doesn't
That's
matter.
right. They had a dumb hardcore brawl. Norman's jersey got ripped off, and I was reminded that he's in really good shape, but you never see it because I was wearing a huge jersey.
Black don't crack.
Black don't crack, baby.
Like,
He's probably still in great shape now.
I mean, he's okay. He's probably chubbier.
Sure. So
Did a bunch of stuff.
They
Just hit each other with things.
Yeah, it was a lot of hitting each other.
While
with
the mascot
things.
was stuck between the ropes.
Yes,
match.
like the head was bigger than the distance between the top and middle rope. So right at the beginning of the match, Crowbar just shoved him in there, and then he literally couldn't get out for the rest of the match. The finish of this was hilarious.
Yeah, the finish of the match was
I loved it.
incredibly silly, which was...
Mascot finally gets out.
Yeah, struggles out, falls to his hands and knees.
Yes.
Stumbles to the middle of the ring.
Gets beat up by Crowbar a bit.
A little
Oh
bit.
yeah, there was some of that. Yeah. But he fumbles to the ring. Crowbar and Norman are both facing away from each other, like selling their beatdown.
Norman stumbles backwards, falls over his mascot partner onto his back, right behind Crowbar, who has his back to him, and then just grabs him, rolls him up in like the end of a sunset flip, and pins him. It was great. Positioning was perfect.
Yep.
I give this on a scale of 1 to 10, with 6 being the highest. I give it an 8.
Spoiler alert: the man inside the mask is former Chris Jericho valet Ralphus.
Was it Ralphus here?
It was Ralphus here.
Okay.
He looks better here than he did when he was with Jericho.
Yes, because he couldn't get into the ring regularly.
Because his belly was too big.
So he stepped on the bottom rope, stepped over the top, back onto the bottom, and got in, like, with no problem. And that's why, what made me question, like, is this Ralphus? Can Ralphus do that?
Yeah, it's all Ralphus. The other thing that came up in this match was we got to enjoy some three-way interspecies erotica.
Yes! Okay, so Crowbar, after disposing of Norman for a minute, went and big wiggled the dog, who was
No, it's not.
not Al
it's
Green.
not the dog.
Man dressed as dog, who was stuck in the ropes, which is, I believe, is rape. And then Norman came and...
I was gonna say, did his pussy get wet?
Remember, guys, if you learn one thing from this podcast,
No.
it's not rape if her pussy gets wet. Quote Drew, 2018.
Hey, I didn't say it. I mean, I did say it originally, but I didn't say it this time.
That'll be... I hope that's your contribution to history. I hope that's in Bartlett's quotations for 2018. So Crowbar is raping a dog, and then Norman came and raped Crowbar is the long and short of that. Which brings us to state-by-state bestiality laws across the United States in the year
One more
2000. What was it in Alabama?
I don't remember. I don't want to get into this. Okay, so after this is just nothing but total bullshit.
Yeah.
It is DDP, Canyon, Arquette come out and do some stuff, and then Russo and Bischoff do some stuff in the back, and then Luger and Flair arrive, and then there's some Arquette pre-recorded David Arquette, Courtney Arquette shit,
Which was, like, poorly... Like, the segments were put together poorly because, like...
It was like a snap cut.
Arquette and folks come out and do stuff, and then they cut to, obviously, a pre-recorded Arquette and Courtney Cox thing.
But it did say
on the set.
It did say earlier, but
on
still.
the set of
3,000 Miles to
Graceland.
Graceland, which was Kurt Russell and Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's real bad.
I haven't seen it.
It's terrible.
Don't want to see it. But we did get a Kurt Russell cameo.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Good for him. Then from there we get a bunch of, like, I mean, this is a recurring thing that happens over the course of the night, which is Sean Stasiak recreating Mr. Perfect-esque stuff by trying to break the record for most free throws made.
with cuts.
With cuts, of course.
Yeah.
And just constantly
We
referencing
did
his
add
abs.
a point C3 in a row. So
Yes.
good for him.
Then we get another Page Canyon Arquette in-ring stuff, which then leads to Bischoff, Russo, Jarrett, blah, 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 coming to the ring.
They book Arquette, Tank Abbott, and Paige says no.
But they also before that, or no. Yeah, sorry, no. Paige and Canyon and Arquette are in the ring doing their thing. In the back,
Arquette wants to give up the belt.
Arquette wants to give up the belt, but he doesn't mention giving it back to DDP. Yeah. He says, like, maybe Booker T deserves it. I don't know, but I don't deserve it. I'm not a wrestler.
Yeah, how about this fucking guy who was champion as of Thursday?
And I stole it from.
Yeah.
But then in the back, there is Bischoff making Hugh Morris have a triple threat match
Right.
with Jarrett and Steiner. Which
The Misfits in Action are referenced. We have never seen them before.
they have not brought them up. They must have done a Thunder thing.
Yeah. Maybe they've been doing it on Thunder for 6 weeks.
It's very possible. So then in the ring, when we have the Page Canyon Arquette thing, then Bischoff, Russo, Jarrett, whatever come down. The match between Steiner, Jarrett, and whatever is referenced as
humorous.
As a
3 days.
as a triple dance.
Triple dance. Not a triple threat, not a three-way dance. Triple dance.
Triple dance. I don't know. Then you get some like Luger bullshit where he chases Russo, and Russo has kidnapped Liz.
Yeah, literally
don't know
all of the
when that
Luger stuff was lost on me.
Yeah, it was just Luger chasing after Russo, and then Liz was involved somehow.
Yeah, like Russo has Liz kidnapped, sort of, but seems like
handcuffed to her.
I don't know.
Then you get then they announce Tank versus Arquette, but Page wants Tank, so it's announced that
They book Page Tank.
If Tank wins, he gets to fight Arquette.
Apparently in a title match.
Apparently a title match, which I don't think was referenced in that promo.
No.
I think it was just last minute. They were like, fuck it, make it a title match. That way Tank gets a title match.
Let's bang out a defense for David Arquette.
Yeah, fuck him. Which led to security coming in the ring to break up the fight, and then heel Tank not beating up the referee or the security, which you figure he would, and then Page and Canyon beating up the security.
Yeah,
but I guess
they're
later,
tougher than Tank.
later on, it's revealed that they are the private security for Bischoff and Russo. So that would make more sense.
Right.
So from there, we get our second match, which is The Wall versus a man. If you told me he was still alive, I would have been like, really?
Really?
Which is Horace Hogan, who is literally only back to further the Kidman-Hogan feud, Hulk Hogan feud.
Yes.
It just goes by Horace.
We had to pause this match at the beginning.
Oh my God.
As we reviewed the career history of Horace Hogan.
It's weird.
Who did some really weird things.
Yeah.
FMW, New Japan, WWF,
Yeah.
WWE.
Yeah, the last 6 matches of his career were WWFE
EFE, whatever.
dark matches in 2002.
Give the FO. Yeah.
The FO.
Yeah. So, the match was it was an unannounced table match.
Yeah.
There was tables at ringside, which made you think, oh, maybe there's some kind of table step, but then also it's a wall match, so who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
Although there was one good thing, and so if I had asked you at the beginning of this show, what 2 people take by far the 2 best bumps on this show? And for all of WCW in 2000, they have a bunch of good wrestlers on the roster. I don't think you would have said The Wall and Tank Abbott, because they take the 2 best bumps on this show.
Yeah, definitely.
One of which is in this match.
Yes.
One of which was only on purpose. The other
one of which was on
not.
purpose. One of which was an attempted assassination.
One of them was Horace Hogan being a bad wrestler.
So they fight outside. Wall throws Horace in. Wall goes to the top. Horace shoots his legs out and crotches him. Then decides to give a huge man a draping top rope DDT. With his legs way on
his
the top,
thighs,
his thighs on the top
high
rope.
angle DDT.
Gives it to him super hard. His forehead bounces off the mat. He scorpions a little bit. We thought he was dead. We had to rewind it.
He might be dead.
He's dead. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
history will prove us right on that. It was insane. We can't believe he wasn't hurt. The match carried on. They did more shit.
Well, then there was Kidman running bullshit.
Right.
They beat up Hogan or Horace. They put Horace through the table, so the Wall wins. Then Hogan runs
comes
down,
out.
and then before Hogan can do anything really, Awesome runs down.
Right.
They brawl. Then we joked that Mike Awesome, wouldn't it be funny if Awesome gave Hulk Hogan, they fight to the top and gave him an Awesome Bomb through a table?
They actually fight to the top.
We were so close.
Yeah, and Awesome does the
Sunset flip, standing, lands on his feet,
Power
carries
bomb,
Hogan
yeah.
out, and Hogan takes the, safest table bump you can take.
puts his elbows down.
Put his elbows down, of
through
course.
the table.
Again, this is a recurring theme of matches that aren't matches and just brawls, and
Yeah.
people constantly running in and doing bullshit. From there, we get a promo where Vampiro smells dead pussy in a graveyard.
Yep.
because all he keeps talking about is the smell,
Smell that.
and what he smells, and it's pussy.
It's dead pussy.
And then he uses the popular phrase, "Curiosity killed the scorpion."
Got him.
From there,
The whole thing just makes me sad because Vampiro and Sting were friends like 2 weeks ago.
also Vampiro, really good at wrestling, should just shut up. As long as he's not talking, we're fine.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, like, we're, dark.
It's a bad combination of Bray Wyatt
Oh yeah.
promo scripting delivered by a like Canadian surfer by way of Mexico.
Yeah.
with no enthusiasm.
No enthusiasm.
But and it's also too is it's like Bray promos where like it goes nowhere.
Yeah, it's a
It's
lot
just
of talking
and rambling and
darkness, blah
Yeah,
blah blah.
yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
yeah, eater of worlds,
Yeah,
banger of
banger
children.
of boys,
Yeah, like it's nothing.
fucker of dads.
From there we get more just. Russo comes out and like, Lex, I'm going to keep this real short and simple, and then talks for
How
like
many
9 minutes.
straight people?
Like straight
How
sexually.
many consecutive people walked out for what should have been a match carrying a
I
microphone?
don't know, 5.
I was so mad.
Whatever. Russo, I'm going to challenge Luger later, blah, blah. Who gives a fuck? Next we get like surprisingly another match, which is actually more wrestling than brawling, kind of.
Amazing.
Which is the Jarrett Steiner huge erection 3-way.
It was
still Hugh Morris at the time.
It was technically a match.
Literally, my question was, weren't Jarrett and Steiner feuding last show, and then we came to the conclusion, well, they're both heels, so who cares? Like I said, the feud goes right out the window, and then we also said, like, isn't it ridiculous that 2 of these guys are main eventers,
and
like,
one of them is Jeff Jarrett.
And it's like one of these things doesn't belong.
Yeah, it was a weird 3-way. So
like they definitely push General Erection like quite a bit throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah,
but like,
hey man, he's a future head trainer.
At this point, he's like kind of a nobody.
Totally.
And he's in there with
Although
the
he
guy
did beat the fuck out of Terry Funk.
the guy who was one of the last world champions.
Yeah.
And then a guy who, like, throughout the rest of the year is going to become, like, a huge thing. Like,
Yeah.
through the rest of WCW is a huge thing. And then fucking Hugh Morris. It's just such a random...
Yeah, it's a very odd grouping.
And then,
guys.
I mean, since we've been... I feel like the longer we watch these, the more we are able to just predict what's
Exactly
going to
what's
happen.
gonna happen. Yeah.
Because it's just a repeating pattern of bullshit. So, like, at one point, it's like, oh, takes the bump. Look, he set up perfectly for the Steiner recliner.
Yeah,
oh,
so
Jarrett hasn't hit a guitar shot yet.
Yeah, so
Bet you it's
Hugh Morris misses the moonsault and is like right in position for the recliner. So like, does he win with the recliner? We're like, oh no, Jarrett hasn't hit anyone with a guitar.
So Jarrett
puts
of
him
course
in the
slides
recliner
in,
and
hits him with the guitar, but of course there's no DQ and a triple threat.
Yeah.
So
Triple Dance.
Triple dance. Triple dance. So Jarrett hits it. Whatever. General Erection gets a pinfall victory over U.S. champion Scott Steiner.
Yeah. Did you say Jeff Jarrett or Hugh Morris?
Huge Morris.
Huge
I said
Morris.
General Erection.
Okay.
Okay, now, you remember how Vampiro and Sting were recently in a best friends who had never hurt each other. Now, Vampiro and him are fighting in a graveyard where Vampiro tries to murder him.
Definitely tries to murder him.
Because, we get like a really grainy,
Black and white
shot in the dark
night vision. Yeah.
Graveyard fight that is pretty much just Vampiro kicking Sting's ass.
Vampiro hits him with 100 shovels.
He hits him with a shovel 100 times, then hits him with another shovel.
Yep.
They fight over to an open grave, which I would assume Vampiro has gone through the trouble of digging.
Sure.
They get to it. Vampiro tries to get a headstone out of the ground, and he does. And then there's just like this awkward pause
Because he
has to say some stuff.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
Sting isn't really like selling it.
No, they're
more,
just looking
more
at
is
each
he's
other.
just sort of like a little bit hunched over. There's
Yeah.
eye contact, and then eventually Vampiro says his thing.
I'm the monster you should have been, or something like that.
Yeah, which I think is like his recurring thing.
Yeah,
but then
crushes the prop tombstone over Sting's face.
his face,
Yeah.
too, and like then Sting falls in the hole. So then you would
He
think
took a good bump into the hole.
you go through the trouble to dig the hole.
Yeah.
You then knock the guy into the hole.
Uh-huh.
you would bury him, right? You just walk away.
No time.
Just leave him.
Well, that's the gravedigger's job.
Yeah.
I mean, fair.
What am I? A gravedigger? What am I? A monster truck? What am I? Thunderfoot?
What are you?
Bigfoot.
What are you? Bad metal band?
I couldn't name one other monster truck. I said Thunderfoot.
Thunder.
Bigfoot. Medusa.
Bigfoot.
What a retard.
Medusa. Medusa USA. Yeah.
But it was called Medusa?
Yeah, it's called Medusa.
Oh, fucking A.
So from there we get what we were kind of like the concept of it we were excited about, which was DDP versus Tank Abbott.
Yeah, it's got potential.
But the thing with Tank is that Tank's gimmick is he just comes out and
Just be killing
punches
dudes.
people
Yeah.
until they're out. And we're like, DDP's about to go into a triple cage title match in 6 days. There's no way they're going to have Tank knock him out.
They sort of did at the
I
beginning.
mean, that's pretty much what the match was.
Yeah.
Because even when Page, got back up, it was like they fought on the floor for, not even 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then Jarrett cold-cocked him from the crowd with something.
The bottle.
And then...
Basically, what we got from this is, if Tank, ever gets, a fair one-on-one match with any champion, he'll win.
Yeah. And so, it was kind of a squash of Page.
Yeah.
Going into the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know, the best way
Odd.
to book the guy who's, the top babyface.
Yeah, I guess he is the top
I guess,
babyface,
yeah,
right?
yeah, he kind of is. Because,
Yeah.
Hogan's doing dumb shit and Sting's doing dumb shit. So,
Yeah, and I guess those are the top three.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Luger, but nobody cares. About
Nobody cares about Luger.
Yeah, it was just weird that that's what. But I mean, Tank is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just weird. So of course, by this match happening now means that later in the night we get Tank Abbott versus David Arquette.
yes.
Yeah.
So that was something to
As we
look
later
forward
find out for the title.
to. Yeah, which who fucking knew? Okay. This again, just more bullshit. Hogan and Awesome are fighting in the locker room. Of course, Hogan no-selling a powerbomb through a table because that's what you do.
He's Hogan, man.
And
It was terrible AF.
And then Kidman comes out, which we again
With a
assume
fucking
is
microphone.
for a match.
And
But
then
of
we see
course,
the mic in his hand, and
microphone
we're
in
like,
his hand. Fuck him.
Calls out any old dude.
Yeah, calls it an old man or washed up has been. And then what I thought was funny that we didn't really mention when we were watching it was in the back you see the monitor and you see Nash walk up.
Yeah.
And then Terry Taylor's there. And Terry Taylor says,
Oh, he's calling you out. Or
he said that Kidman is calling out old washed up pieces of garbage like us. So Terry Taylor is telling Kevin Nash he's a washed up piece of garbage.
Terry Taylor, who's
Terry Taylor.
Terry Taylor, who's a generation older than Kevin Nash.
He then proceeds to explain to him that he's calling you out. You better go out there. And Nash is like, which way? This way? Okay. So of course Kidman in the ring killing time till Nash comes out.
Yeah.
Nash comes out and
Tank top and jeans.
and gives him the best knee lift
Oh my
ever.
Yeah, Nash did a huge knee
yeah.
lift. Kidman goes flying. Great bump.
Given bumps quite well in this little brawly segment.
Kidman's great.
So Nash is beating him up until you get the return of Cisco Rey Mysterio
Yep.
and
Poofy shirt.
Poofy shirt Conan.
I described it as billowy.
Billowy Conan.
Holy shit, billowy Kidman.
Billowy Kidman. So, of course, this is...
And our first time seeing Ray or Conan in 2000.
In 2000,
I believe,
yeah. They have not been around since 1999. It's weird, even though we all have seen it and know it, but it is weird seeing Ray without
It's
the mask.
jarring.
Just because, now, he only had the mask off for,
A year.
or a bit. Well, no, it would have been
was 2
the end
years.
of 99, the last half of 99 till the end of WCW, right?
Actually, I think he lost it fairly early in 99.
Did he?
Yeah. So he had it off for 2 years
I will
total. I want to say it was Super Brawl,
Super Bowl.
which was Feb.
But yeah, it's still just weird to kind of see, it's the same body structure and movement, and then he wore a mask again for another, I don't know, how many years has he been had? 17?
50.
2006 is when he came back.
Yeah, so, but yeah.
What, came back when?
Well, in WWE, right?
2002.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, 2002.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a year and a few months between end of WCW and him showing up. I don't know why exactly. Why they didn't just grab him immediately. Same reason they didn't grab anyone talented from WCW.
Well,
same reason Booker T versus Buff Bagwell was the first WCW match.
Here's the thing: stay home and get paid,
Yeah.
or go on the road and take bumps.
You make a fair point.
Yeah, it was Super Bowl
Yeah.
1999, February 21st. Good for you. Your autism pays off at times.
Always.
Sometimes, not always. Sometimes it's a little weird and off-putting.
Spectrum.
So Conan and Ray are trying to re-injure Nash's ankle, apparently, or at least that's what the commentators keep saying. Well, that's actually what they're doing. Debatable.
Who knows?
But from there, Ray and Conan run to the back. Nash chases them, and they go outside.
Kidman disappears. Kidman's never seen again in this
Kidman
fight.
just lays in the ring and cries.
Yeah.
Because he took some mean bumps from Nash.
Sure.
So they get to the driveway out of the building.
Yeah.
And there is a lowrider parked there.
Of course.
So Conan gets in the lowrider in the driver's seat. Ray jumps in the back.
Pops in the song Lowrider by War.
Sure. In theory, they are going to drive away.
Yeah.
But the lowrider doesn't really go anywhere.
It goes
it goes
one car length.
Yeah, and then the announcers say, "Oh, Nash nearly got them," and then the lowrider stops, and then they're like, "Oh, Nash
can just get them."
So he did
Because
yeah.
Nash was going to go in a car and chase after him.
And
And
then
he's like, well, I don't have to do this
oh.
anymore.
And so he grabs Ray and chucks Ray out of the back.
Yeah.
Then Conan gets out to I guess run away and doesn't put the lowrider in park.
Yeah, we could see it start to roll back as it goes to commercial.
And then he leans back in and puts it in park.
Yeah, it throws the emergency brake
So
on.
we come back and Nash is just beating the shit out of the windshields and the windows with a crowbar, and then Conan is out cold in the front seat. And he beats up Ray, and Ray is laying on the ground behind the vehicle. At one point, which I thought was adorable, was Ray scooches his way under another car to hide from Nash.
More proof that WCW hates cars and money.
So yeah, that's another car they wrecked. That's 3 on this show. So now they have the Russo Lex Luger bullshit. Russo comes out.
I'm gonna rape your girlfriend.
Does some sketchy things. Lex comes out, but before Lex can even do anything, hey, do you think there's interference in this? I would have never guessed. Bagwell and Douglas come down. And then all of Russo's security gets in the ring. So Douglas and Bagwell beat up Flair in the entranceway.
Oh, yeah.
Luger tries to get in the ring. He ends up getting maced by security.
Yeah.
And then they tie his hands together, and then
$8 sign.
and then Bagwell and Douglas start beating him up. To then, which happens the best part of the show for me at least. Then fucking Chronic arrives, and Chronic destroys all of the security guards.
The entire security. They give the
one of the best.
They give. I'm gonna say the man they assumed would be the best jumper on the security team. The High Times.
What ethnicity might he have been?
He just
You're
looked
thinking about jumping.
He just looked like the best jumper.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is it unfair because his butt might be higher?
It might be unfair because he has more quick twitch muscle fiber.
Twitch?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm just saying you look like a good jumper.
Brian Adams definitely gives one of the other ones a big single-handed power or spinebuster choke slam kind of deal.
He does the double full Nelson slam.
Oh, full slam. That's what it was.
That's right, yeah.
And then he dumps some guys out of the ring pretty meanly.
Yeah.
And then they give a specific, non-specific.
The best jumper.
Yes. And then, but the weird thing was that then real cops show up.
Yeah.
But the real cops just awkwardly stand in the ring while they're still beating up security.
Yeah.
And
they're
it's
just kinda standing around.
They let it play out.
And then but then they do end up getting dragged to the ground, and then they're getting handcuffed, and they get dragged out of the ring, and then we go to commercial, and we come back, and Liz had escaped and run away from them.
I think Liz hit Russo with a bat.
Oh yeah, Liz hit Russo with the bat and then got away.
Yeah, so Liz had to do some acting in this,
And she did a promo.
Yeah,
or she talked.
Yeah,
over.
which is never good for business, but at least the acting involved being scared of and running away from men. So we figured she could rely on a lot of sense memory for that. So
realistic stuff.
She did all right.
We come back from commercial break, and both of Chronic and Luger are being arrested and escorting for the building. You remember how earlier in the show, maybe 20 minutes before this, Sting and Vampiro were in a graveyard somewhere?
I do. Go on.
Well, guess what? They're at the building now.
What do you mean, both of them?
Both of them
Even the one who almost died?
Even the one that was knocked out and left for dead in a grave.
Okay.
Makes it back to the building from the roof somehow.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Takes a scary he
came down fast.
but he came down like at the stairs.
On the stairs.
So like he had to
Always good to come down from the roof of an arena onto an uneven surface.
Yeah. He definitely looked impressed by that.
Yeah.
They do a bunch of Sting does the same thing he does all the time, which is like leave the harness on, beat somebody up with a bat. So all he does is just beat up Vampiro with the bat. I don't even know, was there even like a finish to it, or just like
I don't know.
Sting left and then they cut to the back?
Yeah. Man, yeah.
I don't think there was like
every time Sting and Vampiro were involved in something, it was always like a way too fast cut, because like the two cuts to when they were in the graveyard were like the most jarring cuts from whatever was going on in the ring. So they paid them back by also cutting away quickly from them in the ring.
Yeah, they cut to the back. They go to the women's locker room where Russo pushes his way into the room and confronts Liz, who's in there. Liz then
slaps him hard as fuck.
Shoot slap that I bet you she was like thinking was for Lex. She'd been saving that one for years and she wasted it on Russo
or Randy.
Or Randy. And then Russo was like, it took him a second because I think he was like
his
really got him.
His face was red. Yeah.
And then whatever, he re-kidnapped her. Like, fuck it. From here,
I love the idea of re-kidnapping someone.
Yeah. From here, we get Tank Abbott versus David Arquette, which is a total waste of time. Oh, I guess something we should have mentioned earlier during the DDP Tank thing was like, after Jarrett clocked DDP and Tank pinned him, or like the ref just ended the match.
Yeah.
Paige was taken away in an ambulance.
Yes.
During this match, so
shows back up.
Tank does some stuff, and then Arquette tries to like get some offense, and then Tank just like pushes him around and like doesn't really do anything to him.
Yeah.
And then Paige drives back to the building in the ambulance and gets out and storms his way down to the ring. And then they do just like the worst cutting live cam job. There's clearly going to be action in the ring, but let's cut to the back. But then as something important is happening in the ring, we're going to cut back, but we kind of miss it. So we got the last split second frame of what we thought might have been the greatest diamond cutter of all time.
On Tank Abbott, of all people.
So diamond cutter drags their kid on, gets the pin. We then get several replays.
They realized they fucked up. They're like, we're so sorry. We just missed the best diamond cutter
that
ever.
Was awesome.
We're going to show it to you 8 times now from every camera angle we have.
And they did.
And it was awesome.
It was fucking great. Like, who would have guessed that Tank would be the one that could take the diamond cutter like a fucking champ?
Yeah.
Like, pretty much like a head spike, like hands down, but like a head spike and a little bit of a scorpion and then just like drop back down.
Yeah, head down, feet up.
Yeah.
That's the way he likes to fuck.
Maybe.
It was like he tried to take a DDT and then
it was a DDT bump.
He jumped into it.
Yeah, it looked fucking great.
In case anyone thought Tank was leaving the top 5, fucking forget about it.
Never.
No.
But yeah, I mean, like, the match was a waste of time, but that was totally worth the whole thing.
It was awesome. Tank and the Wall, tonight's MVPs.
Yeah. And Chronic.
Always Chronic.
With a C.
Chronic with a C.
This continues like the Stasiak shooting the three free throws. He's 1 away from breaking the world record.
Yeah, he's up to 5,222.
And then what I would hope was going to happen was he would go up for the shot, Henning would run out and block it away, and then clobber him. Kind of got that.
He clobbered him from behind.
Yeah, as if he was about to release the ball. Henning just clobbered him from behind.
But if it had been like a full Mutombo block,
that would have been awesome.
Would have been rad.
But the thing too is Henning clobbered him.
Yeah.
But only hit him twice, and then just left.
Dropped the rack of balls on him.
Yeah, and then just
which wouldn't hurt.
Wandered away
and leaves.
Yeah.
He probably had shit to do.
He might have shit to do. Get puffier and fatter.
It's so puffy.
So this leads to the main event, which just I don't even care about anything that's going on with this feud. It was Hogan versus Awesome. It was a bad brawl, like always.
Yeah.
It was Hogan punches and Awesome overselling. There was definitely a cute spot where Hulkster didn't want to take a bump, so guess what? He didn't take a bump.
Yeah, Awesome gave him a short arm clothesline on the floor, and he hits the clothesline. Hogan crumples forward over his arm, and then sits down.
Yeah,
and
goes to one knee, then the other knee, then lays down.
Anytime Awesome had a like he would have like a minute or two of offense, and then Hogan would just no sell.
Just get up and start kicking Awesome's ass.
Yeah. Of course, as you may have guessed, there was bullshit Billy Kidman interference. At one point, we thought that Kidman got a chair, and we thought he was going to give Hogan another really mean, unprotected chair shot to the head. Because Hogan had gone 2 shows in a row taking them.
Yeah.
When he went to hit him with the chair, Hogan cut him off, and then gave Kidman a very light tap in the back with it.
Yeah.
We have a little bit more brawling on the outside. Kidman gets up, gets the chair, climbs to the top rope.
We're like, this is our chance.
And we're like, oh, he's going to fucking clobber him.
He was all
and
safe
gives
with
him
it,
the
like a
little nice
pussy.
little tappy tap to the brain.
They referenced Bret Hart, I guess, hitting Hogan with the chair 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Which was a mean chair shot to the head.
Which we didn't get to see because
they showed the replay of it.
I guess
the
so.
next week.
But Bret Hart wasn't on last week, nor was he on this week.
Nor will he
May
ever.
never be again. Don't know what the point of any of that is.
And I'm sure there wasn't a point. I'm sure that they were like, hey, Bret might wrestle again, so let's just use him now, and then when he can come back...
We don't know how much pudding is in his head.
I mean, it's a lot of pudding.
It's a lot... Yeah, spoiler, guys, it was a lot of pudding.
He...
Are you looking up?
Yeah, so he's on the May 3rd edition of Thunder. He made a run-in during an over-the-top rope battle royal where he hit Hogan with a chair.
Oh, so that's this week's Thunder.
That's this week's Thunder.
Okay.
Then he doesn't make another appearance.
He just shows up at New Blood Rising because it's in Canada, right?
Yeah, and does
nothing.
He just hugs
Lance Storm.
Lance and like Team Canada and stuff,
yeah.
but it's nothing. And then his last appearance with the company is on a September 6th, 2000 edition of Thunder in a promo where he confronts Bill Goldberg about the injury he sustained 9 months earlier, and then that's it.
Cool.
And then he gets his termination papers via FedEx in October.
The Bischoff way.
Yeah. Due to his ongoing incapacity, and then he announced his retirement from wrestling. So yes, we get Kidman bullshit, the top rope chair shot. So then Hogan clears house, and then somebody in a Sting mask runs in.
Yeah.
Turns out to just be a fan.
Yeah. We're like, oh, who's this?
Who think it's tackled by security, but like within seconds of getting tackled by security, the goddamn period blood falls from the roof and covers Hogan.
Well, hold on a sec. We don't know it's blood.
It's red liquid.
It's a red liquid.
Why can't they say blood?
Red liquid.
I don't get it. They can say so many things. They said asshole on this. They said whore on this.
Slap nuts all
They
the
say
time.
slap nuts a lot. I'm pretty sure someone said the N-word because there were a lot of bleeps. One of them had to be the N-word.
Yeah. It might have been directed at the
good jumper?
The best jumper. Yeah, Hogan gets period blood all over him, and then like all of the new blood comes down, and just like does nothing. They just like look at him and mock him. However, Buff learned from his mistakes last week.
Wore shitty athletic pants. Did not wear his nice jeans.
He wore some crappy stuff. He didn't care about getting covered in blood because if you're gonna take him down,
fool
he's
me,
gonna be real
fool my
mad.
pants once. Shame on you.
He's gonna be real mad.
Oh yeah,
those were expensive pants.
Those were expensive pants, and they're ruined, full of goddamn corn syrup.
This was a hard one to watch, I think, other than the few good highlights.
Yeah.
Wasn't that all of them?
I know, but it's
sure, that's everything. Sure. It did, for all its faults, pretty much every, like, Russo-Bischoff one we've seen somewhere has moved okay.
Sure.
There's too much talking, obviously, and there's no good wrestling.
Nothing.
But everything is so attention deficit that you never get that bored.
I mean, it depends. You get bored of the constant promos.
Sure, but never of one specific thing because everything moves so quickly.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a good thing, but
it shouldn't be a good thing.
Yeah.
But it is in this case.
Yeah. With the bar as low as it is, here we are.
Here we are, indeed. This is the lowest bar you can achieve.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Should we get out of here?
Let's enjoy May 8th, which is the day before my birthday.
Veterans Day.
Before my 14th birthday.
Oh, Drew's turning the big 1-4. So we're gonna get him something special, and that something special was probably gonna be Slamboree results.
Can I request my black cherry back?
The Coca-Cola flavor or the other thing?
I'll take either.
Okay.
I'll take a black cherry.
Okay, we're gonna end this right now.